to give this session, and thank you for the kind words. It was not possible because of all your support and all your efforts in us. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Parsh Goel, and today I'll be explaining you about JDBC. So, before we start, ma'am, can you please give me a confirmation where students are comfortable with creating tables and the CRUD operations of SQL?
Yes, basic operations and basic things that we have covered. So, like creating tables and executing subqueries, they know about that. Till
Okay,
view we have covered.
okay, sure. So, I'll just share my screen. Please let me know when the screen is visible. Is the screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So during this course, we'll be having an overview of JDBC. And once we reach JDBC steps, which is the second last topic of this particular presentation, then I'll walk you through the code for connecting a database to Java application. So firstly, let's start with what is JDBC. So anyone knows what is JDBC and why it is used? Anyone can answer. Okay, so I assume that you're not aware of JDBC. So JDBC is basically a product of Sun Corporation, the organization which created Java, and it stands for Java Database Connectivity. So basically, it is an API for connecting programs which are written in Java language to the databases. That can be any database, considering Oracle database or MySQL database, any of the databases. And JDBC, as it is a API, it has a set of classes and interfaces which are written in Java language. So which helps developers like us to connect the database to Java and write some program to make it work seamlessly. So it is a standard tool for developers like us, and it is written in pure Java language, and it is a standard which is defined by Sun Microsystems. What is meant by a standard, I will discuss when I move forward. Right. So as we all know that SQL has many versions, like Oracle is one of the vendors for SQL, and MySQL is one of the types of SQL. But Java is very standardized. Like when Java was created by Sun Microsystems, it was later adopted by Oracle, and now it has very standard specifications as to what features it has, and it has a large community which is handling the new features which are getting added daily. So JDBC is a means of accessing SQL databases from Java, and as I mentioned that it is an API, and it is also a specification for third-party vendors to write some methods or some classes to connect a Java program to a database. That can be any database because there are multiple flavors of databases available in the market. So to have an overview of how JDBC works, JDBC first establishes a connection with the database, then it sends some SQL statements to the database for processing, and then it gets the result from the database, and that can be displayed either in the application or that can be used for further business logic. So why was there a need to create a API, or let's say why was there a need to have JDBC in place, wherein we had SQL and we had some queries written. So talking about some big projects which are used in the industry, the maintenance part is very tedious because when we are talking about a big project, there might be several databases which are connected. There might be several servers which are connected. And for a developer, it will be very difficult to manage each of them by writing some SQL queries which you have learned so far. So there was a need for a GUI which can help us write some queries and get the processing done. So that was one of the prime reasons why JDBC was formed. So JDBC is basically a bridge between the application, the business logic, and the database. So how JDBC works is, firstly, you will have an application. So in the picture, you can see that we have two applications, which can be written in Java or any other particular language. JDBC is concerned with Java, so we'll move ahead with Java only. So let's say that application A and application B are written in Java, and we have several databases like Oracle, MySQL, and Sybase. Sybase is one of the other databases which is not used so often in the academics, but you might be aware of Oracle and MySQL. So consider Oracle and MySQL as the databases and some applications which are written in Java language. Now to communicate between the application and the database, JDBC is used as the middle tier, which can be shown in the picture. So since it is a API, it has several methods which can communicate with the database or the relational databases, which we call as RDBMS. And it uses some drivers which are individual to the databases. Like Oracle has its own driver, MySQL has its own driver. Similarly, there are other drivers available in the market according to the flavors of the databases. So the process is basically the program fires a query through the JDBC API, like calling the JDBC methods. The methods in turn call the drivers for establishing a connection with the databases. As we move ahead with the code, you'll get a more understanding of how it is done and how it is used practically. So JDBC supports both 2-tier and 3-tier models. So what these are, we'll look at in a while. 2-tier models are basically what we'll be looking at in this particular session, wherein we'll have an application which interacts directly with the database. There will be no middle layer, or you can say business logic layer, which will be performing several actions based on the data which is received. Talking about the 3-tier model, it has a middle layer. As I mentioned, that it has a business logic layer which processes the data which is received by the database. So currently it is not in your scope of syllabus. So we'll move ahead with the 2-tier model. So this is basically a 2-tier model wherein we have the application directly connected to the database using the proprietary protocols which are written in the JDBC API. But talking about the 3-tier model, we have some applet, or we can say application which is running on the browser, which is in turn connected to the application which is written in Java. And then using JDBC, that particular query is run on the database. I hope you all are getting it so far. Please let me know if the speed is fine or should I slow down. Please respond.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. So JDBC has several classes which are used for performing the functionality. Firstly, we need to establish a connection. Then we need to execute some queries, and then we need to process the results. So you can see over here that we have driver, manager, and connection as the classes which are used for establishing the connection. We have statement which is used for executing the queries, and we have result set and result set metadata for getting the results and displaying it properly. So in a brief understanding, we can understand that JDBC firstly instantiates the driver based on the flavor of the database. Then it opens the connection with the database, that it establishes the connection with the database. After establishing the connection, it connects to the database. It queries the database according to our queries which are written in Java language, which I'll show you just in a minute. That can be either insert query, update query, or delete query. Basically, we can perform CRUD operations using JDBC. Once we fire the query, we get some result. We process that result, and then we close the connection successfully. So this was about the theoretical part. Now I would like to take you to the code. Before taking you to the code, please let me know that is everyone having SQL Developer and NetBeans as the IDE, which will be used for this particular session?
No, I think everybody will not have that. So only few students have installed SQL Developer at their end.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll drop in some links in the chat box so you can download that, but don't download it right away. You'll get the recording of this particular session. So you can just have notes for this particular session right now, and later you can download the software IDEs and then you can proceed with the demonstration. So
Yes, that will be fine. Like it will be great that will provide this recording to the student and later they will refer it.
Those who have the IDs present, you can continue to code along with me. And those who don't have, they can please make notes or just view it.
One
Yes,
of our student is want to ask you
right.
something.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yes, seat number 123. You want to ask something? Unmute yourself and ask. You can ask.
Okay, it was clicked by mistake, it seems.
Yes, maybe.
Okay, so I'll just share my screen and yeah, so the first link which I've sent is for the NetBeans IDE. This IDE is used for developing codes and applications in Java language, and also it supports other languages. It is very widely used in the industry, so you can download it from this link. I've sent the link in the chat box. The second link is for Oracle SQL Developer. Here you get a GUI for managing the SQL queries and basically managing the database. And the third link is for downloading the OJDBC driver, which will be used for uh, performing and establishing the connection with the database. So these three links I've sent in the chat box. Now let us look at the code. So is my screen visible? Oracle SQL
Yes.
Developer. Okay. So firstly, in the top left corner, you can see that we have a connections pane, and there we have a plus icon, which helps us in establishing new connections. So I'll just create a new connection for you. You can give any name to the connection. I'll just give JDBC demo as the name. Then you need to add the username and password, which was set while you were installing the Oracle database. So I'll just give it. And for SID, you have to mention what you have given it while installation. So mine is system. I'll just test the connection once. Okay, so the status was success. So I'll connect to that particular connection. This step is optional. I'm just establishing the connection for showing you uh, the results of the queries in the SQL developer. All of this can be done in the Java IDE also. I'll just move ahead to that in a minute. Okay, so here we can write any query and you can see the result. Now for NetBeans, I'll tell you how to create the project. So firstly, you will have to go to the files. Yeah, then you click the new project. In the project category, you have to select Java, and in the projects, you have to select Java application. Then click on next. You can give any name, so I'll give JDBC demo again. And make sure that you have this box checked which says create main class. So a main class will be created by default for us. Okay, so the project was created successfully. Now let me go to the project structure once. So here it is, JDBC demo. So currently it is not having the driver which is needed for establishing the connection. So you'll have to click on libraries, right click on library, click on add jar/folder. And here basically you will have to provide the path for this particular driver OJDBC which you will be downloading. So I'll just download that. Okay, so it is not reflected, I guess. Okay, so here it is OJDBC 14.jar. 14 is the latest version, so you can choose that. Click on open, and here it is added. The zip file, the jar file is added. Now go to the services part. Here we'll establish the actual connection with the database. So you will have several options like connecting to the server, connecting to the repositories, cloud, Dockers. So you'll have to select databases here. I already have a connection, so I'll just try to add a new connection for you. So right click on databases, then you will have an option of new connection. So click on that. And then you will have several driver options present, which is Java, DB, MySQL, Oracle. So here we have to select new driver. And here we have to add the OJDBC driver, which we just downloaded, because else it says driver file is missing. So click on add and go to the folder where you have downloaded that particular JDBC driver. Click open. Okay, so I'll have to unzip it first. Just a minute. So you can click on extract here. So here you have the particular driver file. Choose that again, OJDBC 14. And you will have the name automatically written in the driver class field. And here you can give the name for that particular connection driver. So since I had two drivers already present, so it is given Oracle thin bracket 2. You can rename it or you can keep it as it is. So I'll keep it as it is for this matter. And then click on next. Here you will have to configure it again, which I had shown you for SQL Developer. So service ID in my case was system. The username was system and the password was secure. Now, before clicking on next or finish, you can click on test connection in case you miswrite the password. So in my case, the connection succeeded, so I can click on finish directly. And over here, you can click on connect. You'll have a field present for JDBC Oracle driver. Click on connect. And this icon here shows that it is connected properly. Now you can navigate back to the projects folder, and in this particular file, you will write the code for establishing the connection and writing the queries. So firstly, you will have to instantiate the driver, and that can be done using this particular line, class.forName. So class, note that the C of this class is capital, so it is not a variable. It is actually a class name classed. So class.forName. ForName is a method which takes the driver name, which driver you have to connect. So in case of Oracle JDBC, it is oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. So this syntax is common for all the drivers. You just have to change the driver name. Here it was JDBC, here it will be MySQL, like that way. So I'll just copy that. So in the main method, you will write. Before that, you have to import a package which will be helping you for all the SQL related classes. So that is java.sql.star. So here you have all the classes imported for SQL. Then for instantiating the driver, you can write class dot for name, and in the class name you have to provide this oracle.jdbc.driver. And here it is giving an exception. So that has to be surrounded with the try catch block just for error handling and exception handling. So here you can go and surround that with try catch. So the exception will be class not found exception in case this driver is not loaded over here and in the services. I'll just change this as well. Okay. So here the driver is instantiated. Now we'll move to the next step. So after instantiating the driver, we have to open the connection with the database, and that can be done using the driver manager class. And it has a method named get connection. So for JDB for Oracle, the syntax is JDBC colon Oracle colon the link. I'll just show you how it is done. I'll just copy this line, or either I'll write it directly. So the name of the class is driver manager. So you can see some suggestions as well. So driver manager. It has a method named get connection, and here you have to provide a string. So I'll just show you how that is done. Give me a moment, guys. Give me a moment. I'll reshare my screen. Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So here you have to give a path for the particular driver. So in my case, that will be JDBC colon Oracle colon thin. Thin is the driver type. You have two types of drivers. So OJDBC driver is type of thin driver. So you write thin over there. And you write colon the address. So here we are connecting to the database which is present on the local host, which is on my machine. So I'll write @127.0.0.0. Sorry, not one. In case you're connecting to any remote database, like we used to do it in college, we used to write the IP address of the college server, which is 192 point whatever that was. So in case my database is on a server, remote server, you have to mention that particular IP address, or you can simply write localhost as well. Then you have to provide the port number where the particular database is residing. So in my case, that is on 1521. And what is the SID? Now SID is a service indicator basically. So in my case, that is system. It can either be system or it can be XE. So it depends from device to device, and that can be checked using another command. I'll show you that later. So basically this is the path for the particular database. After this, you have to mention the username of the database, which was system in my case. Also, you have to mention the password. So in my case, it is security123. So again, this is giving an exception because it has to be caught. So let me just so in case we have multiple exceptions, what you can do is we can just directly catch the exception class, and instead of logger, what we can do is we can add a system.out.println error, and what will be that error will be written by X. Okay, so these two steps are done. So first we instantiated a driver, and then we are trying to establish the connection. So here it is instantiation of the driver. And here it is opening the connection. Just give me a moment, guys. Are the steps clear till now, or is there any doubt?
Students?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible, Sparsh. You continue with
Okay,
the.
sure. So we are done with the two steps. The first one was instantiation of the driver, and the second one was opening the connection with the database. Now that we have the connection, we have to have a statement object. So what the statement does is it is responsible for execution of the queries. So I'll just write it statement. You can give it any name. I'll give it st. And here, before that, the line driver manager dot get connection returns a connection. So we need to catch it. So I'll write it connection con equal to, and here you can write statement st equal to con, which was the connection, and dot create statement. Here we have created a statement, and this statement will be responsible for creation for executing the queries. So we are done with the three steps. So this particular step is accounting for creation of statement or execution. Now we have the statement object ready, we have the connection ready, so it's time to execute the query, and that can be done uh, using a result set basically. So what result set is my PPT visible?
Yes, Sparsh, it is.
The PPT, ma'am.
No, we are getting the project window very.
Oh, just give me a moment. I think there's some problem with the sharing. Let's share it again. So we opened the connection. We wrote the connection class as well. Like we established the statement object. Now it's time to query the database. So yeah, I'll write it. So we can write st, which was the statement object, dot, and we have several methods: execute batch. So basically, when we want to execute a single query, we can use execute. When we want to execute multiple queries, we can use execute batch. And then also a method named execute update, which basically updates the database and results the count of the rows which is updated. So we'll go step by step. We'll firstly do with the execute. Now here we have to provide a string uh, as to what we have to do. So let's us create a table, create table. Table name will be, let's say, JDBC demo, and you have to provide the column name. So let's say it has, or let's say we have a student table. So a student will have a name which will be of type varchar, and let's say the characters allowed is 50. Then it will be having its age, which will be int. Then it will be having a roll number, which will be int, and so on. So let's say we just have 3 rows for now, and this execute should be instantiated with the result set, basically, in case of select query or any other query. So let's just do that. We have a class named result set. So let's say rs equal to st dot execute query. It will also return okay. We'll write result set when we are selecting the query. Now just run the particular program. Okay, it's saying class not found. Okay, let me just check. Okay, there is some error, I guess. Just give me a moment, I'll solve that. There's some problem with my system. Just give me a moment, I'll check it. Meanwhile, those who have NetBeans and Oracle SQL Developer can proceed with the code. I'll just copy paste the code in the chat box. There's some problem with my system. I'm trying to resolve it. Just change the credentials for your database, the username and the password, and you can try with this. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes.
So let me just so there was some syntax error. I just rectified it. Now you can result set will be the class which will be used for getting the result for the executed query. You will use the statement object to execute that particular query. And the query can be anything. Firstly, we'll start with the creation of the table. So here we'll write create table or the table name. This will be the column name in the type of the column and the second column name and so on. So here you can write any name. I'll just change the name of the table. Add name as varchar. And you'll run the file. After this particular query is run, the table will be created and that can be checked using either of the connections. So the table name is stored demo. Okay, I'll just show you. So desc is the command which is used for getting the table structure. I'll run that. And once that is run, you can insert the columns in that particular table. So you will use result set again. Here the object name will be different. So I'm using rs1. Here I'll use the query insert into stud JDBC demo, any name which you have given for the table. Values will be my roll number and my marks. But when you will fire the insert query, make sure to comment out the create table query, else it will give an error of duplicate names are present. So we'll run that again. So here it was successful, and you can check that over here. We can write select star from stud JDBC demo. So this was the query which we just run. And in similar manner, you can execute or insert multiple queries. So I'll do that for you. Make sure to change the object name. So this will be rs2, rs3, rs4, and you can change the value over here as well. And you can insert again. So I'll just run it again. And you can validate that from here. Earlier it was having only one row. Now it will be having 4 rows. So what we did is we created the table. So this was create table. We also inserted to table. Now we'll try to fetch data from the particular table in the program itself. Now we were doing that in the SQL Developer IDE. but now we'll do that in the NetBeans, like the program. Just give me a moment. So again, we'll have to create an object of result set. Let's say rs5. You can comment these out. So that will be the statement object dot execute query, and in the bracket we will write select star from stud JDBC demo. So now once this query is run, it will return you these 4 particular column values. So we'll get 4 values from name, roll number and marks. So we'll have to use a for loop for iterating in that particular result, you can say. So how we can do that is while rs5, which is the object for result set, dot next not equal to null. We'll open that and we'll write system okay, so not equal to null, directly rs dot next. So we'll write system dot out dot println. Now let's say we just want to print the name. So what we can do is we can write rs5, which is the object name, dot get, and the type of name is string. You can see ABC, my name and XYZ are all strings, which we have specified over here as well. So we can write over here get string, and here you can write either the column name or you can write the index. So the name of the column is name over here. So let's just go with that, and you can write name, and make sure that the parameter over here is same which you have provided while creating the name. It is not case sensitive, so make sure that the spelling is correct, and then you can write multiple values as well. Firstly, we'll go ahead with the name. So here we can see that I have got the names which are present in the table ABC XYZ DEF, ABC XYZ DEF. Now let's say we want to have roll number. So what we can do is after this we can write rs5 dot. Can anyone guess what we'll write over here? The type is int for roll number. What can be written over here? Like previously we wrote get string. So here what can we write? We'll write get int. And similarly, we'll provide the name or the index of that particular column. So the index is 2 over here, but the name is roll. So let's say we provide roll, and let's run it again. So you can see we also got the roll number over here. Now for the last part, let's say we get the marks as well. rs5 dot get int. Now here we'll try to get it with the index. So the index is 2. The 0th index is name, first index is roll, second index is marks. So let's try to do that. Okay, it's 1 based indexing, so you'll have to write 3. So you got the marks as well. So you got the name, roll number and marks, which was provided over here. Remember that it is 1 based indexing, not 0 based indexing. So you have to write 3 and not 2 for marks, because if it was 0 based indexing, so it would have been 0, 1 and 2, but since it is 1 based indexing, so it will be 1, 2 and 3. So this was about fetching data. And similarly, you can go ahead with updation as well. So let's try to do that. Let's create another object for result set, rs6 for that matter, st dot execute query. Let's make it interactive. uh, any one of you can write what query can we write over there in the chat box. I'll just run your query. So let's see how you understand it. Write a query for updating the data in the database. We have three columns: name, roll number, and marks.
Yes, anyone from all? Kavita, Afia, Ojas, Anmol.
Ma'am, we can update the value, like for example, update table name set name is equal to DEF or anything where roll number is equal to 1.
Yeah, so write that query in the chat box.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Sparsh, along with all the technical knowledge of this assignment, I just want you to share that why this JDBC connectivity is important in their career aspects. Like it will be remain same for further development project and everything. Will you please share with them?
Sure, ma'am. So let's keep update on hold for now. And to answer ma'am questions, uh, like I'm working with Zorient for the past 3 months now, and being in the corporates, I have got to know that there are multiple projects running around. So you will get a you can get a project in Python, let's say. And then in bigger projects, you don't write the SQL queries as we are writing right now. So there is a need for a GUI, or let's say an application which will be performing the insert operation, or let's say the delete operation. To give you a more clear understanding, I'll show you a video later. But there is a need for, let's say, a button which when clicked will add the query to the database. So that is where JDBC will be used. Since it is a bridge between the application and the database, you don't need to manage the database individually. You can do both the application and the database part in a single application or Java language. So that is where JDBC can be very helpful. And talking about the syllabus part, you have an assignment on JDBC as well. And with my experience, I'll share you that the examiners which come to the college when we had physical exams, JDBC was the most difficult topic with database subject as uh, concerned. So if you are good in JDBC, so you even get to shine within your batch. And when you join corporates, then also you get hands-on where you will be deployed, where you can be deployed either in Java project or let's say Python project. So you can just change the drivers and then you can perform the operations. So that's it from the scope of JDBC.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so
We got the answer of updating the database from Kavita.
wait, I'll just run that query. So name equal to Tina. Okay, so let's just run your query. Now you can see that we are getting an error. Let's say uh, parenthesis was expected and semicolon was expected. So we generally don't write it in double quotes. What we write is backticks. Okay, I'll run the query. Number equal to 3. Ma'am, have they completed view as well?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that from there. Addition invalid character. Okay, so while it is updating, let's go ahead with the presentation. So is my presentation visible, ma'am?
Yes, Sparsh. It's not presentation, but we are able to see your NetBeans window.
No, not NetBeans. There's some problem with. Give me a moment. Now is it visible?
Yes, Sparsh.
So we created the statement. We also executed some queries for selecting, inserting. Now let's move to. We also saw processing the results, and this is how we can print the table. So you can get the value using the column name or the index, and you can also get the type. Like let's say the type is boolean for any particular column, so you can get that as well. We saw insert as well. Yeah, so closing is remaining. Okay. So in similar manner, update will also work. I have something more to cover, so I'll skip update for now. Talking about views, so JDBC not only allows us to have CRUD operations, but it also allows us to create views and view those. I'll just show you how it is done. So the syntax for creating a view is create view. You can give the view name as. Then what view basically does is if we have multiple columns, so we can just focus on a particular column, let's say name or let's say roll number. So here we choose name as the column from, and you write the table name. So you write JDBC demo. And then you write the query for selecting values from that particular view. I'll just go through that. So the expected output will be the name column values and not the other values. Okay, so this view is already existing. So let's say view name. Okay, this also is. So we saw that we got the name values. Now, if we change the view to role, and here we write role. So we got the roll numbers. So this is how you can create a view as well. Now, talking about deletion, you can also delete the table or views. Let's say you give result set is equal to execute query drop table stored JDBC demo.
First, your screen is not shared, means your project screen is not shared.
Is it visible now?
Now it is.
Okay, I'll show you this. So I was talking about views. You can create views, and also you can delete views or tables, or let's say the whole database as well. So the syntax for creating a view is here, and the output is here. So if you change the role to name, you will get the name values as well. So JDBC basically allows you to run all the queries which you can run in a traditional console of SQL, but in a elegant manner, so that you don't need to uh, write it in. You basically don't need to handle two particular applications.
I have one question, Sparsh.
Yes, ma'am.
When we are this is by this way we are handling the database also, but it will be again a API which will be fire these commands on virtual basis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
So we just saw that we can use multiple views, and also we saw the CRUD creation, insertion, and updation. So we'll now see how we can delete the particular tables. So nothing changes, just the query changes. So now I just fire the query for dropping the particular table, and if I run it from here, I'll not get these values. This was for deletion. So I just fired the query for viewing the particular table after it was deleted, and I got an error. So it means that it is deleted from the database as well. And you can also drop the views. So this was an overview of CRUD operations using JDBC. Now I'll try to pass this code to you so that you can practice at your end. Let me just change the values.
Till that, can we take QA answer? QA session?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay.
And
Anybody is having any doubt?
in the meanwhile, I'll also try to get one of my projects so that you will be able to know what JDBC means in real life.
Okay. Okay.
So if you have any questions, please unmute and ask, because I'll not be able to have a check on the chat box. I'll try to get the project. Did you all understood what JDBC is and how we use JDBC? A basic understanding of JDBC.
Yes.
It should not happen that I have given a seminar of 1 hour and you will not be able to do it in the practicals. Mav will scold me. So please, if you have any doubts, please let me know. I'll clear it.
Your job you have done very well, Sparsh, actually. Now it's their call. It's their turn to perform well in their assignments and in their academics. Some like some issues we are facing for this batch, like they are very lenient about practical batches and practical assignments. I thought they will be joining this kind of session because again they are facing some new syllabus, so we are also getting difficulty for execution of assignments and everything. Let's see how they will respond to their practical assignments.
Right. So I'll just share my screen. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So here you can see that I have an inventory management system, and this was made in Java. And here you don't see any console, or you don't see any particular SQL console as well for performing the operations. I'll just run through the video. The values are getting inserted in the fields which are corresponding to that particular field. Let's say email, and then the user will, and I just got a message that file was uploaded successfully and it was updated in the database. So that's the practical application of JDBC console, which is seen right now. But the user won't be seeing a console, he will be seeing this application, this GUI. So that is where JDBC comes in picture. And also, once you learn how to do this, you can change JDBC to MongoDB, or let's say you can change it to Hadoop as well. So right now what you are seeing on the screen is Hadoop, and that record was inserted. So this is how you do it. And even when I'm trying to log in to the particular system, so these values are getting validated from the table, from the SQL table. So basically it's fetching the values through the queries which you just saw, It is comparing this particular value with that particular value, and if that is matching, then only it is allowing you to log in. All of this is the practical application of JDBC. I hope you got a clear understanding of how JDBC works in real life.
Thank you very much, Sparsh, for sharing the real-time applications of JDBC. Um, Anyone is having any doubt regarding the assignment or whatever the technical terms that you have learned today?
Even if you are having any doubt in any query, you can ask. We can try to run that. And as far as the material is concerned, I'll send you the links to download the IDEs. I'll send you the PPT. I'll send you the core as well. And I'll also send you the driver, which is used for connecting the application to database. Is there anything more which is needed?
I think that's more than enough. Okay. Thank you very much, Sparsh. Uh, if anybody is having any question, you can ask right now, or we can conclude the session now.
Ma'am, I was having one doubt.
Yes, you can proceed.
Yeah. Can you please repeat that result set? Like we have created the object of that. So what exactly it is?
Wait, I'll just share my screen. Yeah, so let me. So basically, when we are trying to fetch values from the database, the values can be uh, multiple values can be fetched from multiple columns. So when we are trying to display that, then we need to iterate to that particular result set. So as the name suggests, result set is basically a set of the values which is getting fetched after the execute query has been run. So in case of insert, or in case of creation, or in case of deletion, we get a boolean value, or we get the number of rows or number of affected columns also. But when we are trying to select the values, then we get all the values. Now how to display that? So we can either display that using the name of the particular column, or you can do that using the index of the particular column. So result set is basically a object which is having several methods for getting these values. Like get string is one method, get int is one method, and next is basically a flag which is used for iterating till we get the last value of the last column which is fetched. So this was about the result set. Yeah, and a good practice is that once everything, like every processing is done, right from establishing the connection to the result set, then you should close the connections. So basically you should close the result set, all the result sets which are created. So in my case, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. You should close the statement as well. It was used for firing the queries, and you should also close the connection. In my case, it is gone, so that it does not lead to data leakage, and the data is secured. So this is a good practice, because when you are dealing with the servers, like right now it is on the local host, but when you are dealing with servers, then it becomes a problem, because even if you are not manipulating the data, but the connection is open, some other program might be running a query which might manipulate the data. So it is a good practice to close it. I hope that was clear.
Yes, definitely.
Any more doubts, please? And feel free, I am just your senior and I'm not any faculty, so I won't mind. You can ask any question. And if there are no questions, so I'd like to wind up. I'll give all of these materials to ma'am. Ma'am will circulate it on the group. And
Yes.
further this session, if you have any questions, you can reach out to ma'am or you can even reach out to me. I'll put my LinkedIn profile in the chat box, so you can definitely reach out to me. I'll try to solve it as soon as I can.
Okay, thank you, Sparsh. For vote of thanks, I would like to hand over this session to Kavita. Kavita?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sparsh, for sharing your findings and experiences with us and like letting us know about JDBC. So thank you so much.
I would like to thank Deepali ma'am, Rashmi ma'am, and Pooja ma'am for inviting me. And I hope I was of some value to all the participants present over here. And I'm looking forward to have more such sessions for the computer department. So
Yes,
thank you, ma'am.
definitely. Yes, definitely. Thank you. So here I declare that the session is over, and will definitely we will get connected with you for few more sessions for on different technologies and different areas. So thank you from entire computer department.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.